You know you need to be on social media, but with so many platforms out there, that's right. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Snapchat, yep, that's still a thing, YouTube, and so many other platforms such as Reddit, Medium, and other micro platforms. It is like absolutely crazy knowing which platform should you be on, how should you get started, and in fact, it is borderline overwhelming. But you know that if you run a business and you're not on social media, you are doing your business a disservice. So you're probably wondering, how do I get started? Which platforms should I be on? What kind of things should I be posting? And how do I even make a success of my business on social media? Well, if you have any of those questions and you are feeling just a tad overwhelmed, then in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 essential tips, beginner friendly, that you can get started with today to make your business an absolute success on social media. I'm Obasa, the founder of The Lucrative Lady, and welcome to my channel. Please go ahead and subscribe if you love what I'm sharing with you, and if you are watching this on Facebook, make sure you like and share so that other people can get some benefit. So I'm about to share with you 5 essential tips, and I call them essential because they really are to help you to get the best results from social media. I have been on social media for like forever, but it was only about, I would say, 6 years ago that I started to use social media for business specifically. Now, I always joke and say that I'm not on social media, but my business is. So that means that I focus all of my social media efforts on growing my business. And so I feel really well versed in being able to share some of the incredible things that you really need to focus on. My goal with this video is to help you to remove any noise and just give you some clarity so that you know that you are either on the right track or what to do. Now, the first thing that I want to share with you is that social media has changed everything. Social media is changing the game, and the crazy thing about social media is that it continues to change. And in fact, right above me right now, you will see a link to another video where I shared 7 tips to help you to become a better marketer using social media. You're gonna want to check that out after you check the video. The link will be in the descriptions as well. It is on my channel. So social media has changed so much, and the information keeps changing. So I want to tell you what is working right now and what you can get started with today. When it comes to social media and getting it right, the very first thing you want to do is to pick the right platform. Now, a lot of people, when they get started with social media, they get overwhelmed by the amount of platforms, the many platforms that there are. And they think, I'm going to set up a Facebook account and an Instagram account, and I'm going to do YouTube, or I'm going to do podcasts as well. And I'm going to be on TikTok, and I'm going to do Instagram stories, and I'm going to do IGTV, and I'm going to do all of these things. And you might manage it for the one time, but you can become overwhelmed really, really quickly because it is tough. So one of the most important things you want to do is to choose the right platform. Now, when it comes to choosing the right platform, what is it you have to think about? Well, the first thing you want to think about is, what are your goals? What are your social media goals? Do you want to increase your reach? Do you want to increase your audience? Do you want to generate leads? Do you want to generate sales? So the first thing to think is, what are your goals? What do you want out of social media? Once you get clear on what your goals are, the second thing you then want to think is, where do my ideal clients hang out? Right? Where do they hang out? Which platforms are they on? So you've got to really understand what is it you want from social media and understand where your people are hanging out. Once you discover where they are hanging out, that is where you want to get started. And by getting started, I mean choose the one platform, and your role is to understand everything about that platform. Think about it this way. Every platform has a micro section to it, or several micro sections to it. Let's look at Facebook, for example. If you look over here, Facebook is Facebook, as a lot of people know it. But if you really want to understand how Facebook works, you've got to think about it as a micro platform, as a community of micro platforms. So you have Facebook as a whole, then you have Facebook stories, you have your Facebook profile, you have your Facebook page, you have Facebook groups, you have Facebook Lives, right? So these are at least 5 platforms on Facebook. You also have the ability to do video on Facebook. You have the ability to do written posts on Facebook. You have the ability to share so many things. So these are at least 7 things that you can do on Facebook. So understanding Facebook, when somebody says that they want to understand Facebook or use Facebook for business, what I really want them to understand, what I want you to understand, is that there are many micro platforms within that one platform. So you can see how you can really just focus in on that one platform and get incredible results. And then step 2, once you have settled on your platform, the next thing you want to think of is you want to think about visibility. How do I get visible? Well, one of the main ways of getting visible is by creating content. Without your content, nobody's going to see you. Now, what is content? Content is either written, so it's a post, or it is video, or it can be audio as well. So 3 types of content. So if you are a video person like I am, you might want to record some videos. If you are not really keen on videos, you might want to think of audio and written posts, or you might do a combination like we do inside of my business, The Lucrative Lady. But you constantly want to think of visibility, and you want to keep your business visible, because truly, as they say, out of sight is out of mind. So what are the steps when it comes to being visible on social media? Well, step 1 is to make sure that you complete your profile. There's nothing worse than coming to a business's profile and it's incomplete. Or you have, a picture in a corner that's, of a night out, or it's a picture that is very unserious, or, the profile, there are very little words, there are no links. There is nothing more for me to find out about your business. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have completed all of your profile. So whether you are on LinkedIn, make sure your profile is complete. If you are on Facebook, make sure it's complete. And on Instagram, make sure that it is complete. That is the first thing. The second thing you want to do is you want to focus on your messaging, right? Remember in step 1, I talked about really understanding where your ideal clients hang out. Well, the second thing you want to understand about them is you want to understand what their pains are, what their desires are. And you want to use those to create your posts. These are your messages, right? And it's called messaging because with a message, you drive somebody to action. That is what you want your social media posts to do. So you start to create your messaging based off of the various things that your ideal clients care about. Notice it's not about what you care about. It's about what they care about, because you are publishing for their sake. But when it comes to publishing content, or your messaging rather, when it comes to your messaging, you want to make sure that that you have a variety in there, so that your business on social media feels like a human, right? You want it to feel like it's a human being behind this brand. So if something is going on in our world, you want to talk about it. So for example, at the time of recording this video, there's a lot of coronavirus happening. So in your content, you want to be talking about it because people care about what is happening. So link that to your content. And then finally, for step 2 is now you publish your content. When it comes to publishing your content, you want to be very, very consistent. Now, one of the best ways to stay consistent is to, of course, plan ahead. Right, plan ahead, write out your posts from ahead. There are loads of resources, even on my channel, for how to create your content, okay? There's a link right there above you right now for how to create your content, a resource for you. So go ahead and check that out. So plan your content ahead of time, and then all you need to do is publish your content. You can use so many third-party tools. You can actually schedule your content via a lot of these platforms natively. So you schedule. So that was step 2. So step 2 was all about getting visible. Step 3 is all about building connections. You've got to understand that when you're on social media and you have followers or subscribers or other people attached to your account in any way, you've got to understand that they are a real person. It's not just about a number. So your focus really needs to be on building connection. So how do you build connection? Well, one of the first things you've got to do when it comes to building connection is you have got to respond to people. So when somebody comments on your post, make sure you thank them and acknowledge it by responding. And in fact, inside of our membership, the Lucrative Business Academy, we have a project called the Facebook Marketing Hacks Intensive, which is all about how to understand the algorithm and how to create incredible connections that helps you to push your post right to the top of the newsfeed and keep it there. So if you are inside the Lucrative Business Academy, make sure you have done that course. Make sure you do it. So building connections is at the heart of your social media efforts. So the first thing, like I said, make sure you are responding to people. The second thing you want to do is make sure that you are adding people to your friends list or adding them as followers. Now, obviously, if they do know you and you are connected with them in real life, from maybe when you were younger or whatever, then yes, that's easier to do. But what about when you are adding somebody that you don't know as a friend because you are trying to build your network? What do you do? Well, one of the most incredible ways that you can do this, and it is easy to do, is you can do what I do, and that is be helpful. So, for example, if you found somebody who you really admire on YouTube, for example, or on Facebook, Instagram, or on other platforms, be helpful. Be helpful by commenting on their posts. Be helpful by sharing their content. Be helpful by tagging them in various places. Be helpful by messaging them, letting them know that you enjoy what they are doing. I promise you that when you build these sorts of solid relationships, this is where you get to really leverage at some point those relationships. You can invite them to participate in your summit. You can invite them to run a masterclass in your membership, as I do. You can invite them to run a masterclass in your Facebook group. You can invite them to have a virtual coffee with you, and you can ask them some questions. So relationships are really, really important, and I'm sure you know that saying that your network is your net worth. Well, it's the same on social media, but it's not just about how many followers you have, the hundreds of thousands. It's really about the quality of those followers and the amount of people that you have real solid relationships with. One of my best friends online today, I actually met online. Right? She's my best friend, but we met online. We talk nearly every day. She's become not only a solid connection, but she has become a really good friend of mine, a best friend of mine, and we met online. And if she hadn't reached out to me, the day that she did, and I didn't respond, and then we didn't keep talking back and forth, and then went into supporting one another's businesses, we wouldn't be where we are today with our friendships. And together we have grown multiple six-figure businesses by supporting each other. So it is really, really important that you think about building relationships on social media. You think about it as a long-term thing and as a real thing, because it really it really is the most important thing about social media. It really is. So step 4 is to ignore the follow account and focus on building connections, as I mentioned in step 3. So a lot of people really fixate themselves and get really aggravated by the follow account. And in fact, I remember when we were running some ads for one of my products, 365 Social, somebody actually commented and said, "Oh, but you don't have a lot of followers on Instagram." I think at that time I had about 8,000 followers. And she said, "Oh, but you don't have a lot of followers on Instagram. How is it that you're able to make a lot of money?" And so I responded back to her and I said, "Well, it's because I build connections. I might have, even if it's 100 followers, you better recognize that I've worked so hard to build such solid connections with those people that when I put something out, they buy. When I put out something, they grab it. When I say share this, they share. When I put something out, they are ready to support me because I have put in and invested a lot of time in supporting them." So it's really not about the tens of thousands or the hundreds of thousands of followers. It really is vanity metrics. And in one of my other videos, I was sharing how I work with a lot of people who have hundreds of thousands of followers, and the reason they come to me is because behind all of those followers, they're not actually making a lot of money. So my business helps them to make that amount of money that they want to make. So your follow account, yes, it is annoying. Yes, we want to have the hundreds of thousands of followers, but the truth is that platforms like Instagram, for example, right now, they are actually testing and removing those metrics. So very soon you may notice that you might go on an Instagram account and you can't actually see how many followers they have, because it really is vanity metrics. And in today's world where you can buy followers, which you shouldn't do, it really doesn't matter. If you focus on the points that I'm sharing with you in this video, I promise you that you will see a lot of success on social media. My 5th point in this video when it comes to social media is to really understand that your goal with social media isn't to stay on social media, right? Your goal with social media is to move people down your value ladder, move them through your sales funnel, and the first step in doing that is to move them onto your email list. That is what you're constantly having to think about. That's what I want you to think about. So your focus should be, well, how do I move X amount of followers into my email list? How many of them will convert? And the quickest way to do that is to create an amazing resource that you can give away as a free gift, such as this one on your screen right now. This is one of the incredible resources that we created when I first started teaching people how to use stories to sell. We created this resource, and it has helped me to build my list with thousands and thousands of subscribers for free. That's right. So the first step is to create an incredible resource and make sure that that resource is on your Instagram, it's on your Facebook, it's on all your platforms. And now you want to really, really be careful how you share your resource. You don't want every single post to be about your freebie or about your paid stuff. You don't want it to be that way. But you want to do the 80-20 rule, where you are doing 80% value, 20% I'm going to give you something for free, or I'm going to offer you a sale. What I don't want you to do is to be so scared that people might stop following you or might unsubscribe that you never actually sell them something. You've got to remember that you are a business, and your social media efforts, it has to convert to cash. Otherwise, you have to question, are you really running a business, or are you running a hobby? Do you see what I'm trying to say? If you're running a business, then don't be afraid to do that. But I promise you that if you do things the right way, then it is easier to generate sales from social media. So if you loved this, show me that you loved it by subscribing to this channel, by sharing this video, and tagging people and making sure that they watch it by sharing it out. Thank you so much for catching it. I hope you loved it. Have a look below. We have some incredible resources for you. Everything that I mentioned in this video, I have for you in the description. So have a look in the links below and grab them so that you can use them to really, really grow your business. And I look forward to seeing you on my next video. So take a look at what is coming up in my next video.